Hey everyone, it's Orrin Hughes with ONC Family Nursery. We wanted to do a video for you today just talking about what we do with the tree when we go to put it in the ground. We get asked this question quite a few times during the season. And so I wanted to walk you through right here. What I'm doing is I am planting another fruit tree in one of my orchards. And this is an apple. It's actually a Williams Pride apple that we picked up. And we love old varieties of apples, and so we keep testing them. We're always trying to see what apple varieties work really good for here in the Ozarks so that we can bring the best trees for you guys. So anyhow, this is a Williams Pride. We're going to go ahead and put it in. So first thing first, on your hole, my favorite sources of information on planting trees. I love looking at the material that was written prior to 1900 because a couple factors. One, it was a lot more real back then. They didn't use the equipment. It was, a guy, a shovel, and enjoying nature. Two, they did not have the dependence on chemicals that we tend to have today. And so I love going back and looking at what they had to say. And one of the things that they talk about in some of those old books is it's better to put a 50-cent tree into a $5 hole than to put a $5 tree into a 50-cent hole. And translated, that is, do a good job on digging your hole, because you can put a small tree into a good hole and your tree is going to explode for you because it has no barriers to its roots to take off. So do your prep work ahead of time. Dig a good hole. I really like to have a hole that's about 3 feet by 3 feet and about 30 inches deep. That's a big hole, but you end up with just your roots have no sidewall to meet up against right away. They have a lot of freedom. They get anchored well quickly. The tree gets off to a really good start. Now, I'm cheating on this hole today because I actually had a tree planted here a year ago, and I had amended the soil. I dug a really, really good hole here, and then a buck came in and ended up snapping this tree off during the winter. So we're going back in and we're replanting. I've already dug down and made sure the hole is good and deep. Everything is loose in here. As you can see, it's good dirt. You can see the black in there. I've amended it with a little bit of compost. I like to keep a lot of the soil that we're pulling out. I like to reuse because you don't want to have a really, really rich, basically pot that your tree goes in, because a tree can get inside of a hole and just the roots can go around and around because it doesn't want to leave. So you want to make sure that you get a little bit of fertility in there and some compost mixed in, but put a lot of your original soil back into your hole. You just want it to be a loose. All right, I've got it dug out. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull my tree out. Okay, I'm actually going to take this tree. I'm going to rough it up a little bit because I want to get at the roots. And I want to be able to spread these roots really, really well. As you can see, I'm planting on the side of a hill here. And so I've got good water flow. I don't have to worry so much about getting the tree lifted up. If you're planting on flat ground or heavy clay, you want to get your tree lifted up a little bit from the soil surface. Maybe lift it so it kind of mounds up just 3-4 inches, because you want to have good drainage to your tree. But because we've got the hillside here, we're going to have really good drainage. Having seen what my hole or my root system looks like, I'm going to take this dirt and I'm going to set it off to the side here. What I like to do is I like to get a little bit of a cone in the center of my hole. And then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to put my taproot down, and I'm going to spread my roots out. I want to get them out as flat as I possibly can so that they're headed out without having to, because it'll take them some time to re-straighten themselves if I don't do it now at the beginning of the process. And so you want to get your roots all put out nice and straight. And the other thing that you want to do as you're doing this, and I checked this guy as I was doing it, but you want to make sure that you take a look at your roots. And if you have any damaged roots, some of your woodier roots may have been damaged when it was dug up, you want to check those. If you have any damage on any of the root tips, you want to just snip it off. Get a good clean end to your roots. Okay, now We're going to come back in here. We're going to add this soil back in around our tree. We're going to compact it well right around the base because we want really, really good dirt to root adhesion here. And then we're going to bring in the rest of our dirt. If you've got any grass clippings or grass roots in your topsoil, kind of work those out a little bit. I'm going to bring the rest of my dirt down here and get it brought in around the tree. All right, again, we're going to go ahead and put some good pressure around this tree to make sure that everything is good and solid. Okay, now that's one step of planting the tree. Next thing I'm going to do as I plant this, when you plant a young tree, a lot of times as a tree has been dug up, there has been a little bit of damage done to the roots. It doesn't have the whole root mass that it had. If you look at a tree this size originally before it was dug up had a root mass that went out almost as far as this tree is tall. And you know, you cannot dig up that many roots with it. You end up losing some. So because it has a little bit smaller root mass than it had originally, you want to trim your tree back a little bit on the top to match the trimming on the roots so that everything grows in balance. So I'm going to take a look at my tree here, and I want since this is an apple and I have a good idea what I want to do around here, I want to take off some of these lower branches that would get in the way of care later. And then I'm going to shorten my main scaffold branches back just a little bit, about a third. And the reason I'm shortening them back is to give me that, like I say, the extra balance with the roots that I'm missing. Now you can see this top. This is going to end up being my central leader, the one that I'm leaving here. I'm leaving it a little taller, and I will actually go ahead and straighten it and will allow it to keep growing up as my central leader, and I'll continue shaping this tree as we go. Okay, that's one step that you need to make sure of. The second step, put about 5 to 10 gallons of water on your tree. Water it in really, really well because that helps your dirt really get conformed nicely to your roots, gets rid of all air pockets. Really important step. And don't let it sit. You want to have, rule of thumb is about an inch of water a week on your tree. And so make sure you do a good job. Put 5 gallons of water on your tree every week throughout the first year especially. Get it really well established. The other thing that I will do and that I highly recommend is get a soil sample done in your area. If you're going to put in very many trees at all, go send a soil sample into a lab and ask them what you need for minerals to balance your soil out and bring in those minerals. Our soil around here tends to be depleted, and you're going to have happier trees. They're going to have more nutrient dense fruit from them if you've done a good job of adding the minerals that you're missing and bringing things into the right ratio. So that's something that we'll end up doing here. We've got a mineral mix that we have got from our soil samples. We'll spread that around this tree so that it starts working its way down to the roots. And this is going to be a really happy tree that will be here for many, many years. Thanks for watching, and I hope that this was informational for you. Come back and see us. Thanks a lot.